Question 25 is on boundaries of punctuation, and that means in this given sentence, this is one long sentence, we need to identify the subject and verb properly to clarify the idea. It begins with English poet Shakespeare, contemporary John Donne's blank, much admired during his lifetime, and going on. I see this abrupt had, and then there's a been here, had been. So these two must connect if we see that at the time of enthusiastic rediscovery by early 20th century modernists, this is going to be a prepositional phrase. Again, this is what we call the supplements. What is going to be our subject that's using had been essentially gathering dust for the intervening 250 years means that John Donne's works, we must put a comma here because much admired goes all the way down to followed. So I'm going to try to go back and clarify that it seems much admired during his lifetime and in the decades that followed is one supplement. There's another supplement that goes from at the time of their enthusiastic rediscovery by early 20th century modernists is another supplement. So the unique thing about this sentence is that we have two supplements here where our subject is going to be works, okay? Works had been essentially gathering dust for the intervening 250 years. And the one that achieves that is we must have a comma afterwards. We see choice B and C. But if you do choice B here, if you would put comma, works, comma, were, this were is this is lost. This is what we call a fragment because that were does not have a subject. This is a run-on by having works were much admired, and then we're finding another verb had in the middle. This is going to be run-on, so unclear idea. And choice D is another run-on because works had been much admired, and then you're continuing into had. So two verbs being jammed with a comma. This is just a really bad sentence. So the correct answer, as you can see, is obviously with C. Now, one way to check the correct the one way to check whether this punctuation is correct is by comprehending what the sentence is about. That is, John Donne's works had been essentially gathering dust. So for 250 years, the works of John Donne was gathering dust because it was until the 20th century that these modernists rediscover them. So in between 1631 to early 20th century, it was dusted. It was gathering dust, and these modernists rediscover them. Do you get the idea?